take a quick check back in to make sure we're still here.
Yeah, I'm here.
We are
You're
still here. Michelle Yu and Alessa Onaka trackside here to bring you trials for the Grade 1 Super Derby. One trial already in the books, and that went to champion Flying Fig.
Welcome back to your TVG studios in Los Angeles. Michelle Yu joining you here on Racing Coast to Coast. Ron Almini keeping the helm down here in your TVG studios in Los Angeles to keep you updated on racing action from elsewhere around the country, including Charlestown, Santa Rosa, and Emerald Downs. I will also be joining you guys for the 4-minute pick four, and back to our master of ceremonies, the great Todd Schrupp.
Welcome to your TVG News Break. I'm Michelle Yu. TVG has learned that when Hollywood Park opens later this month, track executives will be implementing a controversial and groundbreaking new rule.
We get winter memories fresh off her Grade 1 victory in the Garden City last time out. New rider Javier Castellano going to remain aboard there. Now, she's a deep closer that tends to stick herself in traffic trouble.
Joined, of course, by Michelle Yu and Nancy Uri. And we have to start with you, Michelle. You were there.
I was there.
The Derby. How was it?
It was amazing. I was in Kentucky for 5 weeks or so. I went through Keeneland and then went through Derby. It was phenomenal, like it is every year. I've been the last 7 years, so it's truly sensational. I am here in the paddock outside watching the horses and the people coming in, trying to get their eye on here. A couple big prices already this evening, so people trying to find themselves a nice long shot wager here.
After the pick 5, she can eat some pizza.
I'm lucky that I made myself some lunch earlier. I did a tri-tip beef bourguignon last night, so we had leftover tri-tips, so I did like barbecued pulled tri-tip sandwiches for everyone today before coming to the fair.
She's going to get some Cardinale's pizza before too long.
I did ride a ride today, Frank.
What'd you ride?
I rode I think it's called the Speed Zone. It's just like the big stick with like 2 seats here and 2 seats here, and it goes like this, and then all the seats spin.
So since you're usually off on your own tangent, this probably just evened everything out for you, didn't it?
It was super fun.
Lisa is a huge Super Saver fan, and she's like, you need to pick him, you need to throw him in. I'm like, well, I'm going to use him. I picked 6 horses in my Oaks Derby double, and I did use him. But he was also one that we just kind of like skimmed over the radar, and I didn't stick with the California horse. Noble's Promise was like my big horse, and I like the Zito horses, but I used Super Saver, but it wasn't a horse that was just like a standout.
Our Del Mar debut of Friday Night Fights. I have Gino the intern, and then every week we're going to have a professional gambler come in and take on Gino. Now, you were able to win out Hollywood Park. You still have your hair, but we're going to change the game a little bit. So both our intern and our veteran are going to get $2 to win in place on the last 2 races. But every week we're going to start with a clean slate. So if you end up victorious, you get $100 to bet towards their last week at Del Mar on the late double.
Okay.
Now if you lose, you don't get the money.
Okay.
It's been 37 years since Secretariat won the Triple Crown, and here we are on the red carpet as the story is presented worldwide as Secretariat, based on a true story presented by Disney. TVG was lucky enough to be invited to the world premiere, and we're going to mingle with stars of the show as well as stars from our horse racing world.
Everyone gets a $2 mythical win place wager on the last 2 races, and we just keep a running bankroll through the entire season. Here's a look at the current bankroll. Elizabeth Ellis, our beauty, up $31.
Of course, TVG will be on site every day at Hollywood Park, and we will monitor this story closely. This has been a TVG News Break. I'm Michelle Yu.
Indeed, a big lead for Elizabeth Ellis in our Friday Night Fights. This is Beauty and the Beast edition of Friday Night Fights. Let's talk about the game just a
He is going to be with Nick, but right now he's in the TVG studios on the set, so we're going to have a little double box here. Dave, it's generally you out here and me in there, and we talk. A little bit of a form reversal.
And the last horse you have is Jess You and I. Came off a 7-month layoff to score against Allowance Company, but just the way he did it at a distance that was probably not ideal for him. You have to give the 7-year-old a ton of credit.
Really, there isn't that much more speed in this race with the exception of Hewitt's, who is another horse that I picked. That horse has great back class. I mean, look at this horse. He's come out of the Churchill Downs Stakes, the Shakertown, the Kilroe Mile. I mean, he wasn't really competitive in those races, but he should be really competitive here.
Tyler Sarin called me and was like, Michelle, I've been watching these guys. I can do way better. I think Elizabeth has a trainer's daughter advantage. He's a trainer's son. He thinks it's going to be way more evenly matched today. So, Tyler, I brought you on trying to help these guys out. Talk about your horse in the 7th.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and I have to say I chose this horse because AC Avila's coming into this race hot. He finished out Hollywood Park winning 4 out of his last 5 races. And I think this trainer-jockey combination is a good fit for this horse.
All right, Tyler, starting off with the 8. Elizabeth, are you going to go the favorite? I mean, you've got some stiff competition here. Todd Schrupp earlier said 6-5, 9-5.
It's going to be the third trial here for the Super Derby, but in the meantime, Martha Clausen is on the phone. Martha, thank you for joining us once again here on the Quarters.
Snitcher's been the distance in Chivalry. Arsaar hasn't.
Well, that's a good question, and that's a question we're gonna find out today after the race to see who's gonna dominate going forward.
Wait, there's no insight into that?
Nope, not tonight.